Before the Civil War, building a bridge across the Ohio River didn't just sound like a challenge. It sounded impossible. The idea was opposed by businessmen, fought over by politicians, stalled by financial disaster, and nearly killed by the Civil War. And yet, thanks to one man and his enduring vision, that first impossible bridge was completed. It still stands today, with thousands traveling between northern Kentucky and southern Ohio on a daily basis. This is the unbelievable story of the Roebling Suspension Bridge, an engineering milestone built in an era defined by uncertainty. In the mid-1800s, the Ohio River was both essential and problematic. It was overcrowded with steamboats. Ferries were slow, unsafe, and unpredictable. Every day, the river slowed essential commerce between Kentucky and Ohio to a crawl. Most knew the region needed a permanent crossing, but no one had ever attempted a suspension bridge across a river this wide, this busy, or this vital. That is, until John Augustus Roebling entered the picture. Roebling wasn't your typical engineer. He was a German immigrant who had mastered the science of wire rope manufacturing. Plus, he loved tackling problems that others thought impossible. His plan for the Ohio River was radical and ambitious. Instead of using only the main suspension cables, Roebling wanted extra supporting cables that would connect directly to the bridge deck. This hybrid design would make the bridge stronger and help spread the weight more evenly. No one in America had tried such a system at this scale. It pushed the limits of engineering and the materials available at the time. If built, it would be a groundbreaking accomplishment. But groundbreaking ideas attract opposition, and opposition came from every direction. Ferry and steamboat companies argued that a reliable, permanent crossing would destroy many businesses. But their lobbying wasn't the only obstacle. Kentucky granted a charter for the bridge early, but Ohio hesitated for years. Not only because of business pressure, but also due to deep political infighting, economic uncertainty, and fears that a bridge would make it easier for enslaved people in Kentucky to escape into Ohio. After years of political wrangling, Ohio finally passed its enabling charter in 1849, following Kentucky's 1846 incorporation of the Bridge Company. Approval came only after prolonged debate and conditional compromises. Even then, opposition and financial hurdles persisted, which is why construction didn't begin until September 1856. Roebling, now chief engineer, started excavation for the Ohio Tower. But just when it seemed like things were heading in the right direction, Roebling ran into another obstacle, the Panic of 1857. As the American economy collapsed, funding for the project dried up, workers left, and construction stopped. The bridge's towers stood half completed over the Ohio River, monuments to a dream that had stalled. And just when it seemed things couldn't get worse, America went to war. The Civil War pulled labor, materials, and attention away from the project. It looked like Roebling's dream was done. Yet, somehow, in a fascinating twist, the war that nearly killed the bridge actually ended up saving it. In September 1862, when Confederate forces threatened Cincinnati, the U.S. Army built a temporary pontoon bridge using coal barges to move troops. This new threat and temporary solution greatly renewed interest in having a permanent, reliable river crossing. Funding returned, political resistance eased, and Roebling threw himself back into the project. Construction started back up once again, and in 1865, Roebling's son Washington joined as assistant chief engineer. His arrival made a real difference, and after years of delays, the team finally had another skilled engineer who could help manage crews, move materials, and keep the job on schedule. By September 1865, the massive stone towers were finally completed. What came next was one of the most challenging phases for the entire project: the cables. With the towers in place, workers began spinning the two main cables in November 1865. More than 5,000 individual iron wires were imported from England and spun into massive support cables. Each cable combined thousands of wires into a single line using the most advanced techniques available at the time. Once the main cables were secured, crews installed vertical suspenders and diagonal stays connecting to the deck. These extras are what made Roebling's hybrid design so distinctive. By mid-1866, crews started laying the roadway deck, and on December 1st, 1866, the bridge was unveiled. This was the public's first chance to walk the long-anticipated bridge. More than 120,000 people crossed in the first 2 days, each paying a 3-cent toll. 1 month later, on January 1st, 1867, the Roebling Bridge officially opened for vehicular traffic. At 1,057 feet, it became the longest suspension bridge in the world at the time. As for John Roebling, he had just built what was essentially a prototype for an even more ambitious project, the Brooklyn Bridge. Although he didn't live to see the Brooklyn Bridge completed, its very existence is built on many of the ideas, methods, and lessons he learned on the shores of the Ohio River. For more than 150 years, the Roebling Bridge has been a part of daily life, carrying thousands of people per day between Cincinnati, Ohio, and Covington, Kentucky. These days, it's hard to imagine life without the iconic bridge. Harder still to remember how close it came to never existing at all, and how one engineer's refusal to quit helped turn an unlikely idea into a key Northern Kentucky landmark we still rely on today. For more remarkable stories on Kentucky's past, please check out our Kentucky Origins playlist.